My 4-year-old trying Pop Rocks for the first time is my new favorite memory as a parent. He took a pinch, put it in his mouth, and he could hear it crackle. And as soon as I heard it crackle and he made his first face, I knew it was going to be the best thing ever. He places it in his mouth and waits 2 seconds and just goes, my tongue is breaking. My tongue is breaking. Welcome to Rumble Book Club. I'm your host, Mike Hernandez, and this is the show where a normal guy like me can talk about interesting books I've read, old and new, good and bad. So if you like the show, you like the content, you like the books that I talk about, or maybe your kid had a bad experience with Pop Rocks too. Or you, for that matter. Who knows? Happens to the best of us. Well, you've come to the right place. You can follow us on Twitter, Parler, and TikTok, or you can subscribe right down below on YouTube and Rumble. But more importantly, be a part of the conversation. Let us know what you think about the show. Let me know if there's any books that you'd recommend, and I might even give you a shout out on the show. So let's look at our YouTube comments real quick. H.O. says on a video I did of The Authoritarian Moment by Ben Shapiro, you definitely deserve more subscribers. Enjoy your review and just subscribe to your channel. Keep up the good work with a smiley face. You know what? That's absolutely right. Why don't I have more subscribers? If you're watching this and you haven't subscribed, how dare you? Subscribe. Subscribe! Today we take a look at a really cool book that I read last year, and I'm really excited that I get to share it with you. Today we're going to take a look at Is This Anything? By Jerry Seinfeld. So this is a collection of notes and executed jokes of legendary stand-up comedian and sitcom star Jerry Seinfeld. He was the star of the show Seinfeld, and he was also the star of his own show called Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, and he's done a bunch of other things in Hollywood. He's just beloved across the board, right, left, center, everywhere. So let's get into our three-part criteria of the book, starting with the aesthetics, how it looks, how it feels, how it pops off the shelf, then getting into the readability, not just how it reads intellectually, but also is it easy on the eyes, and then finally getting into the content, what you're actually getting, what kind of information, what kind of quality you're getting between the pages. So let's start with the aesthetics. It's very simple, like his jokes. Just plain white background with black and gray text. It's very bold, very easy, stands right out, and then some small era photos there at the bottom commemorating his years from the 70s all the way up to the 2010s, although here in the 2020s he's still making his own material. On the back you've got kind of an informal picture of Jerry Seinfeld kind of looking over his notes on the stairs. Great picture, good cover. Overall, it's great. I think it actually pops off the shelf in its simplicity. So as far as the cover goes, as far as the aesthetics, perfect score, 10 out of 10. Now let's get into the readability. Jerry writes exactly how he speaks, which makes it easy and very concise for all the readers involved. You get exactly what you need, and you get it in very small doses, the way the jokes are written, and each one of his jokes is quick and to the point, and the print is actually very, very good sized. Very good size here. It's double spaced, and then you have off-white pages, and then he has the breaks in between each joke with the joke, the headliner of the joke being bolded. So it is very easy reading. You can absolutely crush this. It's not meant to be heavy at all. It's very lighthearted reading. So as far as the readability goes, perfect score, 10 out of 10. Now let's look at the content. In light of Norm Macdonald's death, people may be wondering what makes a good comedian and why Norm was such a diamond in the rough, why he was so rare, why he was such a gem. They wonder why we don't see much of that style of comedian anymore. Seinfeld is a good case study why comedy is so important, what makes great comedy, and then why we're not seeing that much of it today. It kind of implies that comedy, as Seinfeld and other legends like him do it, centers around common observations that the audience can relate to, or even if they can't directly relate to it, they can vividly imagine due to how the comedian really expounds on his point. And Jerry does both very efficiently in his writings. He reports some of the most basic things in our lives that we take for granted and notes the oddness of it when we actually look at it from an outsider's perspective. We're kind of stuck in our own little worlds. We have these routines and these terminologies, all this stuff that we just kind of go with and take in stride. But if we were to actually come at it from a completely different perspective and actually do some heavy thinking on why we do what we do, some of it seems actually kind of bananas. And he makes light of that. He makes joke. That's where he gets so much of his material, if not all of his material, is from those experiences, those human experiences that are relatable. His jokes are sharp, they're direct, he puts no fat on his jokes, which I absolutely love. Every single word is necessary, which makes the audience, or the reader in this case, hang on to each one so intently. And that makes that punchline, when he finally delivers it, that much more hilarious because you're hanging on every word. Today that seems to be lost with so many comedians who try to either overcomplicate things, they make for poor delivery, they create some kind of a character or identity gimmick, or they just stop being relatable altogether, or they're just kind of scolding the audience about something. It's more like a speech at like a woke graduation or something than actual comedy, something that's supposed to have levity and this kind of sideways way of thinking that makes us laugh. And Jerry Seinfeld is an absolute gem who shows in this book why he's lived for so long, for so many decades at the top of comedy. I can't recommend this book enough. So as far as the content goes, it's another perfect score, 10 out of 10. I found this book at Target. You can find it at Target still, probably, possibly even at Walmart. You can definitely find it at Barnes & Noble or, as a last resort, your online services. But honestly, it's the perfect book to read. It's the perfect book to have anywhere in your house, just to open it up. Even if you open it up anywhere in the middle, you'll just be able to pick out a couple jokes, have a good laugh. It's almost like having a Calvin and Hobbes book, where it's just anywhere you open it, you're going to get a good laugh and you're going to feel good, and it's going to be just a pleasant moment. So I very much recommend it. I also recommend going on, if you happen to have a Netflix subscription already, going to watch Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee. It's not so much him just doing stand-up, but it is talking to other comedians. It's him relating to these other masters of their craft, and you get a lot of his psychology and how he approaches jokes from it. So I would highly recommend watching Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, or just going, it's also on Netflix, going to watch a sitcom where you see a lot of this humor come to life. Jerry Seinfeld is a master. I highly recommend this book. The book is This Anything by Jerry Seinfeld. Go out and get yourself a copy. Thanks for watching, everybody, and go read something.